So when you Google living in Lansing, Michigan or moving to Lansing, Michigan, the first thing that usually pops up are discussion forum sites. What are these? Well, these are places that people express their opinions on things. So I wanted to address these forums to see if they are fact or if really you should try to ignore them. So I'm gonna be looking at a lot of people's responses throughout this, and be sure to stay tuned until the end because I'm gonna be sharing with you the best summary that I feel explains what Lansing, Michigan truly is. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey there everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialists in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing agent in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this channel. People who are from all over the country, even all over the world. So if you're looking to potentially make a move here in 9 days, 90 days, 9 months from now, whatever your timeline looks like, feel free to contact me anytime. Call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom call with me. All my contact information is in the description below, but it would be great to be able to talk face to face. So if there's one thing that I prefer, it would be a Zoom call. So schedule a Zoom call with me whenever. My calendar link is in there as well. And also, if you like the content of this video, please give me a thumbs up or a like. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button or ring the bell for notifications. That way you can be the first to be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And we have new episodes going live once or twice a week. We are the #1 real estate YouTube channel in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area, so you're not gonna wanna miss any of the future episodes that come out. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different here. You know, again, part of the reason why I wanted to do this, and you heard it earlier in the episode, is when you Google living in Lansing, Michigan, or moving to Lansing, Michigan, or even just anything about Lansing, Michigan, pros and cons, the first thing that comes up, maybe this is just the way Google is, but the first thing that comes up is Reddit, which is a discussion forum, a very popular discussion forum. If you've never heard of it before and you usually Google things, this is one of the first things that you see are people's opinions. And so I wanted to address these things because quite honestly, like when you look on social media, Facebook, Instagram, people comment, they say things. Part of the reason that I definitely wanted to address this is because it comes in at the top. Like usually people are going to click on the thing that comes at the top. My videos, they kind of come a little bit further down the page, so it's not like it's right there at the top, but it is pretty close to the top. But this is the thing that goes first. So what are you more likely to do? Click on that and then see what's there. I wanna be your trusted resource here to tell you, hey, should you take a look at it? Should you skip it? The big headline that comes up at the top, the big thing is, I'm looking to move to Lansing, Michigan. What are your thoughts? Looking to make a move to Lansing. And so the ones that I'm addressing, there's 2 of them that are right there at the top. There's a lot of responses on them. There are things on there known as upvotes, which if you like it, then it's an upvote. They have several upvotes. So the thing that you need to understand about Reddit is it is an open forum. You have no idea who is saying this stuff at all. They all have their own accounts. I looked through a lot of the comments and I came up with the top ones that I wanted to address. Now, if I read these comments, you know, I'm gonna read through them, and sometimes I might stop in the middle of these and just say like, hey, hold on, they're wrong here. And so that would be the fiction. Or I could say, yeah, I 100% agree with this is fact. And on your screen, at times, you're gonna see that article so that you can visually see what I'm talking about, so I'm not just a talking head here, okay? So from time to time on this, you will visually see highlighted what I'm talking about as well. So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how much you like this. Again, I told you about the thumbs up. You like this, give me a thumbs up. If there are things that you disagree with that these people have said, or even what I might disagree with, comment below, interact with me so that we can talk about it as well. Okay, so again, the headline is, looking to move to Lansing, Michigan. What are your thoughts? This one had the most upvotes. It had 81 upvotes. And the comment says, my SO, which SO means my significant other, who is from Northern Michigan, says Lansing is weird because it goes from nice to ghetto in like 2 streets. Me being a born and raised and stayed Lansing resident, I say Lansing is great. It does lack in the big city as we don't have much of a downtown life, but the close East Lansing MSU offers all the resources one could ever want, need. So that's like one of the top comments that's here. A, Lansing's not weird. just to let you know. And it can go, they are correct when they say it can go from a couple nice streets into some not so great streets. That's more in the Lansing proper area, and you definitely had to map it out and do your research there. And there are some crime research websites that you can go to be able to look up some of that stuff. Myself as a realtor, I can't tell you, oh yeah, like this street's bad, stay away from it. You have to do your research on that just due to fair housing laws. But I mean, I'm glad to hear that they're being born and raised in Lansing, that they say Lansing's great. The one thing I would disagree with on this, we're not a big city like Dallas or Chicago or New York City, right? We have about 500,000 people in our metro area, and they say, we don't have much of a downtown life. I would agree with that. Downtown Lansing, I've said in videos before, East Lansing has a better downtown. But I wouldn't say, but the close East Lansing MSU offers all the resource one could ever want or need. I kind of disagree with that, because all throughout Lansing, there are just different pockets throughout there. So you can't say, well, because if I read this and I don't know anything about this, then what I'm assuming is that East Lansing and MSU has everything. And that is not the case. They do have the better downtown. They do have a lot of things in there, but it's not gonna be everything you absolutely need. But I do like how this person is positive on things. And then somebody else commented below that and said, coming from Florida, I grew up in Orlando, so that's a pretty major city, and lived in Fort Myers and frequented Tampa and Miami. The next street over behind Ghetto is really just a city thing. So that person is saying like, well, just because you're talking about something being 2 streets over, what a major city would be. And the worst parts of what we would have seen here don't compare to what I've seen in like Tampa and Fort Myers. Overall, we feel much safer here in Lansing. We also love that even though something is like 3 miles away, it can take 10 minutes or less to get there. Florida could never, that's what they say, Florida could never. So I'm assuming they're saying Florida could never be like that. That could never happen there. And I would agree. I did a video on Florida versus Lansing. There's tons of traffic there, lots of major cities. It really does. If it's 3 miles, it'll take you 10 minutes or less. Traffic here is great. I do agree here with what they say about if you are in a major city, you're gonna see some great streets and some not so great streets. It's just kind of the way it is. But somebody who comes from up north Michigan, like that was the first comment, I can understand that up north Michigan is very rural, very suburban. They don't really have like inner city. So that's going to stand out a little bit more to them, right? Again, it depends on where you come from. And then somebody else, Plain Blueberry 3570, said, just about any city can be like that though. I'm from the Chicago area. Most suburbanites are pretty isolated in their cars. So again, Chicago, major area. When going to the city, and if you ever spend time actually on the street walking around, catching buses, trains, you'll see a bit more of how things actually. I apologize, I'm just reading what people are saying and I can't control their grammar. For the most part, your interactions are going to be fine, but there's still some homeless people and those not well off that you need to navigate. Most interactions are okay, but it's not some fairy tale. I have to go back this week for family stuff and it's kind of stressing me out, to be honest. And I think he's talking about going to Chicago. It takes forever to get anywhere. It's expensive, crowded, and unless you're forking out cash for something, not really that great in and of itself. I go back for the food a couple times a year, but give me my life and commute here in Lansing. It literally takes me 10 minutes to get to work 2 miles away as opposed to the hour-plus commute I had back, quote unquote, home. And that is something I definitely hear from people. Bigger cities, they love the traffic here. Lansing City, just in general, people who have grown up here, they might know some of the bad parts. Overall, with it being a city of 500,000 people, it's really not that bad. You might see some homeless people around like that, what was referred to here. Just a good perspective for you to be able to see of what some of the people who are actual people who live here, what they have to say, because it can be beneficial. I'm now getting into a little bit more of the food scene here, because somebody else was also responding on this same thing, same topic. And they said, notable and good is the cost of living, housing. You get a lot of bang for your buck in Lansing. Negative is the food scene is not great in Lansing. There are some gems, but most restaurants are below average. I mean, there's some definite good cuisine throughout here, I feel. You can have access to anything, lots of national chains, lots of local restaurants. So I'm gonna see what other people have said here, just so that you can hear with the restaurant stuff. Expert Confection 8 says, hit me with some gems. I just started working here and plan to move soon, and I've been looking for good food spots. So Distress Signal says Middle Eastern food, especially Lebanese, is better than you'll find in most places in the US. Try Sultan's, Corey's on Fridays, and Woody's. And I agree, like the Middle Eastern food, the Mediterranean food here, great. Although I do miss 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐻, it did close down. That was my favorite. But they still have one in Holt, but it's not as good as the one that was in West Lansing. And I featured 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻's when it closed before. ⟨🏗⟏ taco truck on Michigan would hold its own even in much larger cities. Dagwood's burger and chili are underrated. Burgers, fries, and a beer deal is great. Chili is good. Actually, every soup I've had from there is solid. Great, good to hear. I haven't really been to Dagwood's Burger and Chili before, but definitely a place I would want to check out. ⟨🏗⟏'s taco truck on Michigan. I've heard great things about that taco truck. Then Vault of Secret says, ⟨🏬⟩, which is a kebab Mediterranean place. ⟨🏂⟩, which is an Afghan place. Again, you're seeing like we have lots of different international type food here. It's not just national chains. Then Capital City Barbecue, ⟨🏩Cosmos, which is a wood-fired pizza place in Old Town. ⟨🏂⟩ Chef Food Truck at Horrocks. Go on a weekday, they say. Those are some great places. In Space is Untooken. So then you get, this is why I like to kind of feature this, because you just get lots of differing views, right? ⟨🏗⟏Oasis is crap. Woody's is crap. Sultan's is crap. The food is 5 out of 6 out of 10. Used to be 8 for Woody's. ⟨🏗⟏Oasis is white people tacos. Okay. Taco Bell can be more authentic. I'm assuming he's meaning Tex-Mex, not white people tacos, because I feel like that's a derogatory term, but whatever. And Sultan's I'd give another go, though they had the driest falafel I've consumed. To each their own. That said, Chukli on Saginaw, Athena's on Cedar, any Culver's by the Hood got you especially, Horrocks for Farmers Market, Good Truck and Diner. That's in Riotown. That's a really great place. Acapulco for a Mexican spot in area that's realistic. Bento place that serves bento boxes. I believe that's in Frandor area in the center of town. Big Mama's next to Tasty Twist, though I think they changed their name. No Tie, Meat in Old Town. That's all I got. Edit, if it's Sultan downtown, then yes, go to that one, not Hannah Plaza for falafels at least. Okay, so very detailed. I wouldn't say that like some of the stuff that they said that I agree with some of those restaurants. So very interesting. That's why I like doing some of these topics, to be able to interact and be like, hey, how trusted is it? I mean, there are some things, Horrocks for the Farmers Market, I agree. Good Truck and Diner is good. I wouldn't say like the Mediterranean food around here is bad. In fact, I would add, there's a place called Aladdin's in Frandor. I feel like that's a great Mediterranean place as well. And somebody else says definitely One North for a good bar restaurant. And that place is great. They have 2 locations, one on West Side. They just opened up one in East Lansing. And Soup Spoon Cafe for comfort foods. That's close to the downtown area, close to Sparrow Hospital. If you want expensive, I'd suggest Toscana for quality Italian. That is a newer place that opened in this Red Cedar development that they've done right by Frandor as well. But there are some other higher end places like Capital Prime, Bodie's I featured on here before. Yeah, I mean, those places are good as well. Then kind of switching gears here a little bit, Sea Republic. What they say is honestly one of the boringest areas in the beautiful state of Michigan is Lansing. No hills, no lakes, average to poor job market compared to other equally affordable areas of the state. Really, if you go an hour in any direction of Lansing, the nature is significantly better. That's definitely fiction with a lot of this. It's not boring. Nowhere in Michigan does it have huge hills, really. The lakes, yeah, we don't have Great Lakes, but we do have some all sports lakes. Lake Lansing is over 400 acres all sports lake that's been around for a while. Average to poor job market, it's not true. We have a lot of corporations. We have Michigan State, we have General Motors. I don't know what they were talking about here, if they were having a bad day, Sea Republic 4809, but honestly, like even when they talk about nature, we have some beautiful spots. Grand Ledge is one of them that has just some beautiful spots of nature, like during fall. Everyone takes their fall photos there because it's right by a river. It has a nice gazebo, nice walking trail over there, whatever. Okay, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? H. Vaughn says this, pros of Lansing, affordable, which is true, large enough to have at least one of everything in terms of retail and culture, neighborly people, smaller in scale and pace than big cities. It's boring. So how's that a pro? I don't know. Cons. You have to drive to Detroit or Grand Rapids to attend pro sports, see big museum exhibitions, catch a direct flight, or catch musical acts. The city proper has a rundown Rust Belt look and feel. It's boring. Okay, A, Lansing is not boring. There's tons of things to do, and check out the rest of my channel. I talk about all the indoor activities there are to do, all the outdoor activities. There's a lot to do here. B, yes, Detroit, Grand Rapids have professional sports, but I tell you, Living here in a college town, some people prefer the college town atmosphere. It's a little bit more intimate. People just feel a little bit more camaraderie with that. And I mean, the football stadium's huge. It's absolutely massive when you go to Spartan Stadium. It just depends on what you like. But then if you want to go to a professional sports place, then go an hour and a half away, wherever you want to go. You're not going to go to a professional sports game all the time. You can watch it on TV, come on. Lansing, Michigan also has Lansing Lugnuts. And I like just to be able to go again, because it's more intimate than going to a Detroit Tigers game. There are my thoughts there to that. And somebody else says this: I am a young professional in my late 20s and lived here for 2 years and left for Chicago. So they lived in Lansing, then moved to Chicago. I never used to be a big city person. I found Lansing to be a very nice city, but the problem was it was very lonely. Everyone was either in college or almost retired, no one my age. It's really hard to make friends because Michiganders are so close-knit. They only hang out with their friends from high school or family, and they aren't really in the market for new connections. If someone was looking for friends, it was because they were toxic. This isn't a lot of people my age moving here, there isn't a lot of people my age moving here, which was a huge problem. Even the businesses don't really cater to young adults. I found they either cater to the college crowd or boomers. The culture is very Midwestern, and people are extremely polite, but more reserved and buttoned up. It's a huge shock coming from the East Coast where people are more rude because they are genuine. This is good and bad, and also more outgoing. Therefore, you aren't really sure where you stand with folks, since you would rather be polite and avoid confrontation than be honest. Because people here do have a lot of pride and don't like it when you say anything negative about their city, if you are not in college at MSU and younger than 40 or single, I would not recommend moving to Greater Lansing. Okay. I took some little paraphrases there because there was more to be said. But here's what I will tell you. When you move to this area, you said that it was very lonely. Part of it is on yourself to be able to find those right people. I mean, I've lived here for 17 years. I am somebody who had to go out and try to get to know people. And part of it's on you. You can't expect everybody to come up to you, okay? Number one. Number two, there's people from all stages of life here. You just have to find the right connections. And they say for people that it's only for college people or boomers. Totally disagree. Lots of great school systems, lots of families throughout here, lots of indoor activities. If they wouldn't be building all of these indoor entertainment complexes if there weren't any people that are here that have families with kids. So I totally disagree. I'm sorry that this person had a bad experience, but it just kind of, for those of you looking to move here, wherever you move to, you've got to be the person to make the efforts. You've got to try to find the people here. I feel, coming from the East Coast where I used to live, yes, I will agree. People are more friendly in the Midwest. I've heard that comment from other people too, like, wow, people want to talk to you in the grocery store. Wow, Midwesterners are friendly, but a lot of people have lived here all their lives. And so sometimes, yes, they can be close-knit and more family-oriented over here, just to let you know. All right, the last thing. This is my favorite summary of this because, this person, I don't know, I didn't even see this person's post ever when I've been doing this YouTube channel, but this is from Super Appearance 212. This person says, it's great. It has a wonderful park system with parks all over the place and a river trail that goes for miles in several directions. The parks include facilities for disc golf, tobogganing, mountain biking, cross-country skiing, sledding, hiking, kayaking, and more. The park system includes an awesome dog park with a small lake inside. And there's a pretty good zoo here. There are several lakes around with good beaches. If you want something really special, it's only an hour and a half to Lake Michigan, one of the world's best beaches, in my opinion. Again, I've mentioned that before. You can go to weekend getaways to Lake Michigan in an hour and a half. Because of Lansing's diverse population, there's a refugee development center here. There's a wide variety of ethnic or international restaurants. And we have the quality dairy chain of corner stores, which offer very good donuts, feature quality dairy, and their own brand of seasonal apple cider with no preservatives. So it's awesome. Seasonal eggnog and more. I live in one of the nicest neighborhoods, but even here housing is not expensive. You can get a good house for under $200,000. I would say it's going to be closer to $250,000, but across the main thoroughfare is one of the worst neighborhoods, but even that is coming back and you wouldn't feel in danger walking through it. It has a minor league baseball stadium, and just a minute or two away you have college football at MSU in East Lansing. It has an airport which is small enough to navigate easily, but big enough to take you anywhere. No matter what your political leaning is, you will feel comfortable here. MSU's Wharton Center in East Lansing offers shows from Broadway and many other high-end sources, as well as more independent attractions. I'm watching Rocky Horror Picture Show there in about a week. Being in the middle of the state, it's easily drivable to just about anywhere, such as the west side of the state, the east side, including Detroit and its attractions, up north, where there are vacation and camping opportunities, opportunities down south toward Ohio, Cedar Point, and on and on. Every May, the East Lansing Art Festival is held, and there are also festivals as well. The point being that Lansing is small enough to feel easy to navigate, but big enough to offer many big city amenities. It's affordable, safe, and the people here are friendly. Hope you come. I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's a great summary of a lot of things I've talked about on here. Being in the center of the state, it's great. There's diversity. You're not gonna get what you had in Dallas, Texas, Chicago, New York City in Lansing. Let's be real, let's be honest, right? But there are some pros about living in that smaller area. So yes, I agree with a lot of what is said in here, that Lansing, Michigan is a phenomenal place to live. I've lived here for close to 20 years. I really enjoy it here. So this concludes my time on Reddit. If you liked this and you like this series, please give me a thumbs up, because I might even get into other Reddit opportunities from other suburbs, other things to be able to know. So let me know in the comments or give me a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you are looking to move here anytime soon, whenever that might be, please contact me. All my information is in the description below, and call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom. Anytime, I'll be able to make it work, okay? So thanks everybody for watching, and until next time, make it a great day. Take care.